Hey, so I just thought I'd show you really quick how I set up my personal wiki. And to be clear, this wiki is completely different from my business wiki. So this is just for my personal life, and it helps to set the tone, the vision for my personal life versus my business life. And all the two are somewhat intertwined. I try to keep that as separate as I can, so that the personal assistant I'm working with has an idea of what my vision is for my personal life versus all of the VAs that I work with in the business and the vision of the business and where the business is going. So for this, I start off by just having the team, which is myself, and then any assistants that you're working with. So within that model, what I do is I outline an about me section, and I've got a paragraph about me, where I live, and then my story. So it gives you a bit of a backstory, how to get in touch with me, social networks that I'm on. This one needs to be updated, but business stuff, which I've actually created in a different section. Payment details, how I accept payment details, and then my personal philosophy, and then a YouTube video, which actually I should probably redo here. This was a Tony Robbins video that goes in here. And then within this is important. So this is all information. This is like my history, my philosophy, and this is me up till this point. And then I've got a whole another page on where I'm going. So my vision. Now I'm not going to show you my vision, but I will show you how I got there. So, and I'll show you that in a second. That's under how to set goals. Then I got my assistant, and I get my assistant to do the same thing so that I have an idea about who he is, how to get in contact with him, where he lives, all that stuff. And then he goes into his goals, which is his vision basically. And what I did is I literally paid him for a day to go through how to set goals, and he just went through this template and sat down and thought about it and wrote it all out. And then that helps me to understand where he's going and where he wants to go, and vice versa. When I do it, it helps him understand where I'm going and where I want to go, and that is important to allow him to make decisions on my behalf if that comes up, so he can easier make those decisions without coming to me and saying, does this fall in line? Like, is this what you want me to do? Does it line up with where you're going and what you want to do? He'll know that by going through all my personal information. So it does get you have to open up a bit to get the full effect out of this. Then you've got hard data. Now there's a lot of hard data I can't show you, but credit card info. So credit cards, it's a good idea to have credit cards with a limit that you give your VA. I mean, as you trust your VA, you can open it up to your credit cards, like higher credit cards. But as a general rule, I'd say limit your credit card purchases to, or limit your credit cards to $500, and then any of the purchases they make on your behalf are going to be under that. Then I've got addresses, places that I live or have lived or need things shipped to, and it'll address that in there. Login data, I can't give you that, but I can show you just how I set it up. So this is the login data. I'll just have it alphabetically set in here, and these are all things that they need access to be able to help me out. We're now starting to actually, ironically, 1Password now is 1Password for Teams, and I'm looking at using that for the login info, but that didn't exist when I first set this up. So I just have all the login data to things that they have access to there. Social media, this is all the login data to my social media accounts, so that they can post and interact on your behalf. Then I've got company info, so I'm involved in these four different companies. So if I go in here, it'll show you, it'll give you basically a really brief access point to the company. So you've got the company's official webpage, the company's wiki, the company's section in Drive and Google Drive, their email. I probably shouldn't show you that, but just don't hack into that account. And then their social media accounts. And then so it goes for the rest of the companies on here. Then you've got the next section, which is relationships. And these are just for your, like, really your personal. You've got a network. So I've got a network. There's like people, and that's basically anybody that you're networked with in business or Facebook or whatever. And you can keep people in there. Like, I've got people in there that don't have Facebook. But then outside of that, you've got some of your close personal friends, and then your direct family. And if you have a spouse or significant other, they can go in here too. And what you do is you just put personal information about them. And what I mean by that is just things that you know that they are like their hobbies or things that they enjoy or things they're interested in. Or like, I mean, a good thing for this is like gift ideas as they come up through the year. You just like put that in there so that when it comes time to Christmas or New Year's or birthdays or whatever, you can just tell your assistant to go in there and do some research and give you like 3 different gift ideas with links, and then you can basically go in there and do a last minute pick, but it doesn't take you tons of time to go in and find that necessarily. So yeah, that's that section, and then I keep my financial data in here too for tax reasons, basically. So like, so I have a running tab of or tally of how I've done through the years for my tax collection purposes, and then I've got task backlog, and task backlog is just like a list of things that you want to get done in the next few weeks or months, or you just basically as they come up in your mind, you're like, oh, I need to do this and this and this. So you go in there, and these are things that potentially you're going to get your assistant to do in the next little while. So yeah, that's how I set it up, and hopefully that helps you with a better understanding of how to run your personal wiki.